a little update from me. Now, I've kind of been in the dark, just uploading older videos with new voice files. Why? Well, because my silly ass went over and told Kirsty, as soon as I found out who she was, I went out and told her that I use her voice in an AI thing, and she wasn't too happy. And I really should have just thought about that and kept my mouth shut. But I don't know, man. I don't like hiding things. Now, she told me not to use her voice anymore. And in my head, that computed as in, what I'd already done is good to go. But no more. Because if you've been watching my stuff, I was working on episode like, I think 18 for like a month. I'd split it into 3 episodes. And I had done a lot by then. Now I'm not the sort of guy that really finds out who the voice actor is. Like I've seen it, I've heard her in so many different friggin' games. I mean, the first time I heard her, I think she was actually Jaisa from Knights of the Republic as a Jedi Knight's first companion, and then she was Serana, and I've heard her throughout many different games and those sort of things. But I still don't know her name. And I only found out who's the voice actress for STA's Serana was. Her name's Kirsten. She told me not to use it anymore, and I was like, waiting for a comment. I was going to pay for the service, but apparently I tried to bribe her to steal it, which that doesn't really work. I mean, you know, you can't bribe if you're willing to buy it. But she didn't want me using her voice anymore, and that's 100%. I mean, to tell these stories, I need to use voices of real people that actually voice acted in Skyrim, or, like I said, a mod. I don't want 2 different voices. Now I'm kind of forced to do that, but that's just the way it is. And I don't have permission for any of it. If I'm outright told no, then I got to stop, because I'm not here to do these stories to hurt people or to make them feel uncomfortable. So she told me no, and I stopped using it. But of course, me being the dickhead that I am, I uploaded it because, in my brain, it was no more from that point on. And at that very point in time, I was going to finish episode 18 a little earlier. Let me show you. Now, this was actually where I was going to stop episode 18. I was just going to have it stop walking into Morthal. But I wanted a little bit more at the end of this. And by this point, Kirsten had said, do not use my voice anymore. So I went with that sort of mentality, and I did not use her voice anymore. So for this, I kind of wanted, the Dragonborn to come back into town. The fires have all cooled down from the rain, and she'd say something to the dead, and she would then go and speak to the Jarl. Now, again, the Jarl's quite important to her story because she's, Ragni helped her with the vampire issue with, I forgot her name, and then the Jarl helped her with Morthal. With the Thalmor Embassy, and so I thought it'd be cool to have her come and talk to her once more inside of a hall. And the Jarl, she kind of... let me find it real quick. She outs Serana for being a vampire. Now that's the reason why you don't hear Serana here, because I had not yet configured Serana's voice. I couldn't use STAs, and I had not yet gone through and deep dived into the original Serana dialogue, because I didn't have it. So this is why Serana, when she's outed, says nothing, because Kirsten said no. Now, this blew up because I uploaded a couple of days later. She's put a Twitter post up, and I've had a few white knights come my way. And me being the fuckwit that I am, I did trigger him. I kept making fun of him, and I should have just not. But my inner Australian cannot resist. I'm an impulsive creature, and I really am. I mean, I figured out that I think the reason I added Serana's voice lines in is I really wanted her to become part of the story after watching Arcane. Because episode 5, I made a lot of mistakes as I was watching Arcane, and Arcane really bullied my feelings. Truthfully, it bullied me, and I really wanted that personal feeling for the Dragonborn and her partner. So, again, look, I didn't handle it gracefully when I was having a conversation with her. I put the wall up, and I put her on the other side of it. I said, I've done what I've done. I won't use your voice anymore. There you are. See you later. But I did have Martimus, who is the mod creator of STA, come and have a chat with me, and he said these projects are under a certain copyright, and in the mod description, which I do not read, it said do not use for AI training. So I actually fucked up pretty bad there. That is my own fault. And so he said you have to remove him. You know, and I was like, fuck, how the hell do I do that? So eventually, as you've seen, I've been redoing the scenes, revoicing them with the original Serana's voice lines, or voice, and doing that. It sucks, but that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. I really wanted the same voice that I used for the mod from SDA, also in the conversations. But of course, she's a young voice actress. She doesn't want that sort of shit where she hears her voice on a machine. Plus, I'm a stranger from the other side of the planet. You know, it's going to be like me. I wouldn't give two shits if someone stole my voice. I'd laugh at it. But for her, obviously, it's very different, especially as she's a young voice actress, and having a complete stranger who just told you out of the blue that they're using your stuff is obviously going to unsettle her, and you know that. So look, Martimus let me hide the videos so I could copy paste all the data over and shit, and I could watch it in the background and kind of type in what I fixed up and that sort of crap. Blah blah. So he did me a solid, and he came in pretty professionally. He wasn't throwing hands, which I was expecting. He didn't ban me from his server either, which is wild. But yeah, so this is kind of what I'm doing. I've been doing this, fixing up all the Serana dialogue lines as far as I know from episode 5 onwards. Now, the one that I was regretting the absolute most is the one that I'm on right now. All right, so as you can see, I'm doing episode 12, right? I kind of miss Kirsty's voice, and she said no, so no more Kirsty voice. Because default Serana does sound kind of cold and on guard. Even when I try to, like, really bring out some emotion in it, it's just sometimes she comes out... Kirsty's version was very soft and sort of youthful in a way, where Serana's is very... kind of really raw. Sometimes unemotional, but that's kind of expecting of an ancient vampire. But this is the episode that I was just dreading getting to, because sometimes I just can't. I've already done a couple ones of these beforehand, but this is the real big one. This is a bit where, if you have never seen this episode, you'll hopefully enjoy it. But it's where Serana and Ragni get very personal in their stories, because Ragni's taking Serana to the place where she forced Serana to leave her beforehand, and she spent these nights with Centaurus thinking that she'd never see Ragni again, and Serana, too many fucking S's. Serana kind of, getting into this point really soon, where Serana really tells Ragni about her past and what she was back in her time, and that sort of thing. She gets really deep, and when I was using Kirsten's voice, it was really raw and passionate, so I'm really hoping that the original voice lines, if I have to go through and change them all the time, I don't know, I've changed it 3 times already, but hopefully I can get some real raw emotion out of Serana when she talks about her past. But man, a pain in the rectoid. I mean, this is the one that I feared the most. Episode 13 won't be too nice, I don't think, but I think once 13's done, man, home run. I mean, I fucking hope so, at least. But this one's going to take me a couple of days here and there. I don't want to rush this one because I don't want to burn myself out. But you know, I'm surprised I've even done any of this today. And I think all this is today. From, like, you know, because I'm not working at the moment. I've been bullied this year, man. I got fined for, like, having an unregistered car because I hadn't got the letter, and that cost me $1,000. I then go and tell the truth, or be honest, and tell the voice actress I use her voice, and she shits on me. Fair enough. I walked myself into that one. And then I get really violently sick, and then my job kind of goes on fire. There you go. I'm not fired or anything like that. It's just I work for the government, and the government's playing up right now in Australia. Anyway, so I'm just gonna click this one through, get it over and done with. I'm really gonna have that really meaty personal scene with Serana telling Ragni of her past, and I think there's maybe one more. One more outside, but I can just simply cut that scene because it's really hard to do exterior scenes. I don't remember the time that it was, and trying to get the weather is almost impossible to play nice with, you know, since that's random. So I should just be able to cut that, add the shit in, easy as that. But I just wanted to add a little update video because this is the one I was dreading the most, episode 12. If you've seen it, you know what it is. if you haven't seen it and you're brand new because of uploads, you'll quite like it. It's very, very personal towards the Dragonborn and her love. But yeah. So once this one's done, and I think there's quite a few for episode 13. Once these two are done, should be a walk in the park compared to everything else, and especially to this, which is pain in my ass. And that, I thought I'd just update this and leave it at that. And hope you guys have a good one. Catch us in another vid.